didn't I? So I don't know what happened. Um, you remember last week I told y'all that I was going to have an attendance log, and I have an attendance log. Let's see. It makes my life easy. But look how many people are on my log. There are so many people in this class now that I had to have a whole different sheet for my Friday class. So
That's
that's
good,
really
isn't it?
exciting. Yeah, that's very exciting. I love to see growth. I really do. So happy Faux Monday or Faux Tuesday. I'm not sure what it is, but we were off work yesterday, and so today's my first day back at work. We had a long weekend. Um, if y'all are retired and you're not in the workforce, then you might not even realized it was a long weekend. But I'm gonna open and close my hands and get myself warmed up and ready. And I'm gonna make an admission to y'all that I don't typically do. Now, I'm a very active person. I go to the gym every single day, whether I do cardio or weightlifting. I lift weights 4 times a week, and I do cardio the other 3. And so I never miss the gym. I get up and I go. And so my goal is always 30 minutes of activity each day, 30 minutes. And so, that's kind of the go-to numbers. We get 30 minutes of physical activity, 5 days a week. That's a general rule. I'm an overachiever, and so I always make myself do something. But you want me to tell you how many minutes of physical activity I did on Saturday? 0. I did 0. 0 minutes. Also, my goal each day is to take about 10,000 steps. You know how many steps I took on Saturday? A little over 2,000. So y'all know what I did on Saturday? Rested. I rested, and it was great. My body needed it, and so I hope that you have goals of activity. Obviously, you're here. You wouldn't be taking Tai Chi class if you didn't have a goal of activity or moving your body, taking care of your body. But also, I want you to also take time for rest. Your body needs time to recover. So I talked to you about Tai Chi and how it gives us body awareness, and you have to listen to it. Don't push yourself beyond your limits. Let your body rest. Of course, I want you to move it, but rest. And so that's probably weird for me to even admit that I laid around all day on Saturday. Now, with good reason, because guess what's back? College football. So if you're a college football person, then you were probably laying around the house with me too. Well, not with me, but doing the same thing. All right, we got Miss Iris coming in, and Sharita came in. All right. Hopefully, I haven't missed anybody as y'all have come in, and I had to let y'all in. All right. So, y'all have anything for me today?
Yes.
Tell it to me.
Thank you for my prize.
Well, you're
It came,
welcome.
yeah, it came Saturday.
Well, I hope in any way that is something that you can use.
It was. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I hope other people are starting to get their prizes. And then remember, if you continue to come to class and you come 11 of the 16 times, then you'll get a t-shirt in the mail, and you'll get to pick your color. hopefully, one day it's going to come to where I don't have certain sizes, but I think I'm stocked up on sizes right now. All right, so are we ready? We're nice and warmed up. It's a little bit chilly outside. My daughter and I went riding on the buggy yesterday afternoon, and I said, hold on a second, let me grab a sweatshirt. And she said, a sweatshirt? I said, oh yeah, it's chilly outside. And by the time we were headed home, I said, are you cold, Olivia? And she said, I'm freezing. I said, you wish you would have grabbed a sweatshirt. But it is a blessing to feel a little bit of coolness in the air. We have suffered the heat long enough, haven't we, y'all? All right, let's get in our stable stance where our feet are about shoulder width apart. We have good posture, our shoulders are relaxed, we're breathing. I hope you will have some time to practice or at least think about some of the moves that we do from one Tuesday to the next Tuesday. The more you practice, the more you put into this class, the more you're going to get out. So if you get a chance, practice some of these movements in your own time. So let's start with our neck. We're going to bring our hands up, palms down, turn and pull them towards our chin and chest, push away from our body, and follow those hands all the way down chin to chest. Guess I could turn on some music for you, huh? I felt the silence whenever I started focusing on my breath. Let me pull this up.
You ain't gonna believe what I practiced.
Please tell me.
Open and close.
Oh, I love it.
Me too.
Did I tell y'all? I told y'all to practice anything. Even if you closed your eyes and just thought about it, it was practice. Open and close is a good thing to practice for breath. It's a good thing to practice for gentle resistance, slow, smooth, continuous. Even open joint where your hands are away from your body. So we joke about open and close being, so easy, but really it is a dynamic move in our Tai Chi series. So we can utilize it in so many ways. So, yay. All right. Neck exercise. The other one starts out that same way. Well, let's just keep going with that one. And chin towards our chest. You feel a little bit of stretch in the back of your neck. Side to side, stretching this neck. It's like I'm looking in a mirror as I come to the front, to the side, until I feel that slight stretch, back to the front, and switch hands. So the hand I'm not following stays engaged. It's down by my hip. You notice it's away from my body because I want my joint to be open. This is the one I get a little stuck on. I don't know. why this is, but sitting around made my body hurt. My neck is a little bit stiff. Let's roll those shoulders. Small circles forward first. And then we roll back. Resetting our posture. Like a massage we give ourselves. This is another one to practice breath and gentle resistance as we move our arms through the air, pretending the air is heavy. Even using words of affirmation like breathing in calm and breathing out stress. Or breathing in gratefulness and filling our bodies with it. I love this move for words of affirmation. And whatever we need, whatever we're going through, we have a need to fill ourselves with something good and release things that may are icky, stuffed in our brain and our minds and our thoughts. We let that go, and this movement goes with that. For our spine, let's grab our ball. We're going to separate the heavens and the earth. That sounds powerful, doesn't it? Pushing up and down at the same time, keeping that soft bend in our elbow. Remember, if you struggle with shoulder mobility, this may be too big of a movement for you. So you may want to start small, right here with that ball, and I call it a stretchy string. So you pull that string and you're stretching your spine, and then you switch and you stretch it the other way. So whatever works for you to help stretch that spine vertically, keeping in mind that this is for your spine, not for your arms. And that was something that I got wrong when I first started doing this movement in Tai Chi. I really struggled finding the stretch in my back. So don't worry if you don't feel it quite yet. Just think, stretch your spine, separating heavens and earth. Push up and down, and you'll get there. Back to our ball, and now let's take it side to side. So it's a torso movement. We don't go as far as we can go. It's just a warm-up stretch of our spine horizontally. So that's for our upper body. Moving to our lower body. Specifically our hips, we're going to shift our weight to one leg, place our heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, and toe back, hands forward. You need to hold on to a chair for balance, that's fine. I suggest having one close by or something that you can rely on if you do lose your balance. A lot of strength to hold our weight on one leg. But the only way we're going to build that strength is to challenge those muscles to do it. We kind of have to reveal our weakness to gain strength. So as we're getting stronger, we feel weak. I think there's beauty in the irony of that. In the same sense, when we're getting smarter, when we're learning, we feel dumb. Shifting weight side to side, slow, smooth, and continuous. I know it's tempting to get in a hurry here, especially if we struggle with some strength. So this is a great place to hold on to a chair or hold on to something stable. As you shift the weight slowly, hold that weight while you tap that toe out, keeping in mind that we want to maintain our upright posture. We don't want to lean into the movements. Anytime we lean, we're going towards falling. Also, don't forget to breathe. I know when we get challenged, we tend to hold our breath. So we want to continue to breathe and pay attention to that. All right, so those are for our hips. Now going to our knees, we have our loose fist down here by our hips. We're going to shift our weight to one leg. Lift, tap, and punch that opposite hand. Bring it back. Shift the weight. Lift, tap, and punch. See here, slow, smooth, and continuous. Forces one leg to hold our weight a little extra longer because of our pace, but that's the point. That's how we get it stronger. We want those muscles to be stabilizer muscles. Hold us, help us be stable as we hold ourselves in this life and move ourselves through the world. We want these muscles to be strong. Make sure you keep your fist loose. I felt myself clenching my fist together for, I don't know why I do that, but I'll feel myself tightening my fist. So that's why you check in with all those kind of rules of Tai Chi movement and catch yourself doing something wrong and fix it. All right, so now for the next knee exercise, we shift the weight, we step out. We're going to leave both feet flat on the floor as we shift forward, punch that opposite hand, and bring it back. So we're not shifting 100% of our weight to that front foot. We keep our body upright, we don't lean, and that's a challenge. So I'm going to turn to the side and show you, I'm stepping out, it's a small step, I'm shifting forward, see how I'm still upright, and I'm shifting back. So what I'm not doing is leaning. What I'm not doing is lifting that foot, because when I lift that back foot, it kind of pushes me forward like a lean. So just pay attention to those little things. I love this movement because we shift weight side to side and shift weight back to front. So a lot of weight shifting, and we need as much of that practice for our muscles as possible. Reminder of all of our principles: slow, smooth, continuous, upright posture, song joints. All right, for our ankles, shifting the weight, we go heel toe, rocking that foot. Bring it back, shift the weight. Again, I'm holding my weight I'm holding my hands at in front of me. I'm not squeezing my hands. I'm very lightly holding them together. No tension. all the way through our Tai Chi, no tension. Other ankle movement is big toe, little toe, or side to side. Shift weight in the other foot, little toe, big toe. So we do these warm-ups every time to get our major joints ready for movement. Give yourself a little shake. We do 2 for our neck, 2 for our shoulders, 2 for our spine, 2 for our hips, 2 for our knees, and 2 for our ankles. And we did that pretty quickly this time. So I told you that as we progress through class, that it will take us less time to do our warm-ups. And here we are, and it's 10:20. And so that gives us more room to learn our basic 6 movements. That's the journey we're on right now, and practice those movements. So far we have learned commencement and open and close. And so next up, we're going to learn single whip. And single whip looks like this. We're coming from open and close. Let me think mirror image, because I want to show you what it looks like from the front. The first time that we do single whip, we do it to the right, which this is my right mirror image in mirror image land. I shift left, I step out right, I push my hands out as I give weight to that front foot. I turn my hands and then separate those hands. My eyes follow my left hand. But I remember I separate both. So let me do it without talking and just watch. So that's single whip. Now we do single whip to the right and we do it to the left. Remember I told you with commencement, that's the only movement where we only do it one way. The other moves we do both ways. Open and close is just naturally both ways at the same time. So let's review our first 2 movements before we add on, and that's commencement and open close. Keeping in mind, let me do it mirror image. This is what it looks like. Our hands come up and down, shift right. Place the left out, hands come in and up. Shift left as those hands go out. Right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Now notice I said place left. Why is that? That's because we empty step in Tai Chi. We place a foot before we give it weight. So we always empty step in Tai Chi. So let's practice those 2 movements together several times. I'll talk you through it. Here we go. So we're in our stable stance. Weights on both legs. I'm breathing. No tension. Good posture. And commence. Hands come up. Down, shift right. Place left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back. Open and close. Close it out. So when the hands come back at the end of commencement, that's when we give weight to that right foot. So when we go into open and close, then there's weight on both legs. All right, again. And commence. Hands come up, down, shift right. Place left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out. Right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. close it out. So our hands face each other this whole time. Our hands start to the sides of us, and when we come up, we're out, right? And it's like we're floating through the air, and it goes to that gentle resistance, like the air's heavy, and we're slow, smooth, and continuous, up and down, in, up, out, and back in. So that movement is very soft. When our arms are away from us, they're not lock joints. Remember that. That when we're out, we're not out. Soft, down, in, up, out. Remember, never locked. And come on in. All right. Linda Powers. Let me. All right. So, soft movement in commencement. All right, let's practice it again, and then I'm going to give you another little thing. All right, here we go. And commence. Hands come up. Down, shift right. Place left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out. Right foot forward, hands come back. Open and close. Close it out. So, no tension, right? Okay, so, our joints. This is where we get arthritis, right? Typically, it'll be in our hips and our knees. Those are our weight-bearing joints. It's where most people will get arthritis. But because we use our hands and our wrist a lot, because we do, we get arthritis here too. And so here is a way to engage your wrist movement with commencement. Okay, so we've talked about coming up, right? Floating up. So when you come up, you see how my fingers are kind of pointed down? Like my wrist is kind of limp. All right, come up. All right, now I'm going to come down, but now I'm going to move my wrist here. So I kind of flicked my wrist. Now, it wasn't anything really sharp, because we don't do sharp. We come up, our fingers are kind of pointed down. We come down, our fingers are kind of pointed up. We come in and up, and our hands are just soft. We go out, our fingers are pointed out. And then we come back in, and our fingers point up. So that gave us a little wrist movement. Do we have to do that to do commencement? No, we don't. But if we're going to do it, why not make the most of it by moving that wrist ever so slightly? So it's like this. Up, down, in, out. We come back in, fingers up, forward, open, and close. So just think about that. You don't have to do it just now, but that gives you an opportunity to utilize that wrist just a little bit. And stay in your comfort zone. What feels comfortable to you, how much of that movement. Don't force it, because again, force is tension, and we're in no tension zone. Alright, so let's practice it again and do the wrist thing if you want to. If not, just do it the other way that you were. And commence. Hands up. Down, shift right. Step left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back. Open and close. Alright, now without talking, let's do it. This is our test, and I don't tell you what to do. I'm not going to leave you. I'm still going to be right here. And commence. Again, commence. Empty step. Now give it weight. So when you first see Tai Chi, you think, oh, that looks easy. That's slow. That's nothing. But when you start learning about all the pieces and parts of the movement, then you really start to realize how dynamic the movement is. When you think about pace, when you think about posture, when you think about that little slight movement of your wrist, the softness of the way you have your hands out there and back in. So nothing is sharp, everything is smooth. We think about weight shift and an empty step and all our joints being open. I mean, there's so many things to think about. And as we talk about principle, and I introduce principle for you, I hope that if you can take notes about our principles. Let me see. I have this poster right here, and I'm gonna put it over here. I don't know if y'all can read it. If you can't, let me know. Alright, so these are our principles. That's really kind of small, isn't it? Let's see if it helps to close the blinds. But if you want to take notes, I'll just move it closer and then I'll hang it back up. But these are our principles. So we have three sections, and those are movement control, body structure, and then the internal experience. Now, under movement control, this is where we talk about slow, smooth, and continuous. This is our pace of our movement. Nothing sharp. Everything's slow. It's that floatiness nature of our movement. Under movement control, we have gentle resistance, and that's the one we talk about, the air being heavy. Just a little bit heavy. It's gentle. It's not full out resistance. Then under body structure, this is where we talk about upright posture. Standing tall, standing up, having good posture. And then this is where we also talk about weight transfer. And I really need to put a note beside this and put empty step, because every time we place a foot before we do weight transfer is an empty step. And then the internal experience of our Tai Chi principle is song, S-O-N-G, and that's where we talk about open joints or not locking our joints, like our elbows and our knees, leaving space in our armpits. And then Jing, J-I-N-G, is our mental quietness. The mental quietness is just kind of being in the moment, being in full Tai Chi zone. And this happens when your teacher quits yapping and we just do the movement and we're breathing and we're just thinking about that movement and we're just in the zone. That's our Jing. And the more familiar we are with the movements, the more likely we are to have the internal experience of Jing, that mental quietness. We get in that Tai Chi zone. So these are our principles. So I'm going to hang them back up behind me. But when you practice, I want you to practice with principle. And you can practice one principle at a time. You can think, okay, I'm going to do this commencement and open and close, and I'm just going to think about slow, smooth, continuous. And practice it just with that one principle. Another principle that is not listed is in breathing. And I remind you often to check and make sure you're breathing. So you can do commencement and open and close, and just think about breathing. Inhale, exhale. As you go through that movement, come open and close is an inhale and an exhale. So practice breath with your movement. And then you get in the habit of practice and movement with principles. Then when you're very familiar with the movements, you can utilize all the principles at the same time, but you're not necessarily thinking about them because you practice it one at a time and just made it part of what you do in Tai Chi. So principles guides us with everywhere. Even when we do our warm-ups, we do it with principle in mind. So that if you only do the warm-ups with principle, then you'll get the benefits of the movements. Principle guides us. That's what's on the back of our shirt when you earn your shirt. It's what's on the back is not all of our principles, but some of our principles. Okay. Let's do it one more time. Focus on whatever principle you want to, and then we'll add on by learning single whip. So here we go. And commence. Open and close. And close it out. Something you may notice that I do is when I open and close, you may see my body come up and then go down, like just a slight movement in my knees whenever I do open and close. I'm not coming up and locking my knees. I'm just coming up slightly and then going back down. And that just deepens that movement. It's just a slight movement. So you may not have even noticed, but if you did, that's what I'm doing. It's just moving those knees just a little bit with that breath. All right, any questions before we move on to adding single whip? All right. That doesn't mean you can't ever ask a question about it, but if you don't have one right now, we'll move forward. So I've already showed you single whip, but I'm going to show you again. We're coming from open and close. We're going to shift left, step out right, adjust as we push, turn and separate. Okay, so what I just put my feet into is a staggered stance, okay? And so a staggered stance is where one foot is further up than the other. Now we know when we step in Tai Chi, nothing is big. We don't go outside of our frame. We stay in our space. But that staggered stance is a very stable stance. So I shift my weight to, the first time we do single whip, we go to the right. So we shift left, we step right into a staggered stance. So you may adjust the spacing of your feet. And what feels the most comfortable for you. If you like a little bit wider but still hip width apart. If you like a slight angle on your front foot. you know, a 45-degree angle. Some people like that. But a staggered stance nonetheless. So it's shift right, shift left, step right, and as I shifted right and step left, my hand stayed right here from our open and close movement. So it's shift left, step right. Alright, so I did place my right foot out. I said step, but I placed it. There's no weight immediately. But I want to give it weight. And whenever I give it weight, I call it adjust weight, to where there's weight on both feet. So when I shift weight to that front foot, I'm not giving all the weight to that front foot. I'm just adjusting it to where there's weight on both feet. When I adjust that weight, or when I give weight to that front foot, that's when I push my hands out away from me. Notice still the soft bend in my elbows. I never go out and lock. So I'm here and I adjust weight as I push out. So you remember when I told you to connect hand movement with weight shift. So when we go down, we shift down. When we shift forward, my hands go out. So forward and forward go together. Down and down go together. Same thing with single whip. I adjust weight to that front foot as I push my hands out. Hold on a second. Let me tell my son I'm in class. God bless them. They don't know my schedule. I'm in class. All right. So, adjust as the hands go out. So from the side it looks like this. Shift, place, adjust. That's the first part of single whip. Shift, place, adjust. Coming from open and close. Shift left, place right, adjust as those hands go out. Now once my hands are out, what I'm going to do is turn my palms away from me. So it's here, push out, turn, and then I'm going to separate them like I'm running my hands down a wall or opening up a curtain. My eyes are going to follow the hand opposite of the foot that steps out. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about. I shift left, I place right, adjust, push out, turn my hands. Now I'm going to separate my hands, and my head and eyes follow this left hand, opposite of the foot that was stepped out. My right foot is the one that stepped out. So I follow the left hand. What's that? Cross lateral. Cross lateral movement. That's what's really good for our brains. Okay? I didn't have to do a time check. So we go shift, place, adjust as I push, turn, and separate. Eyes follow that left hand. But notice, I didn't stop moving my right hand just because my eyes went to my left. You know, sometimes out of sight, out of mind, we can easily forget about this right hand. And when we forget about it, then it looks like this. Oh no, I forgot about my right hand. I gotta separate it out. So I don't want to forget to move both hands out. And I want you to do it the wrong way and then do it the right way, okay? So if you do it the wrong way, then you do it the right way. Don't you feel an opening of your chest? You probably feel the muscles in your back when you open both. So remember that. Don't forget the one you're not looking at. The one you're looking at is the opposite of the foot that is stepped out. And so that's a rule with our single whips. Because I know I've been there before in the beginning where I went to go here and I was like, which hand is my head supposed to follow? And so if you remember that it's opposite of the foot that stepped out, then you know the rule and you'll always follow the correct hand. And if you follow the wrong hand, it's not the end of the world, but remember how important cross-lateral movement is for our brain and with Tai Chi. All right. Again, from open and close, single whip, we shift left, place right, adjust as we push, turn and separate, moving both hands, following that left hand. Again, open and close, single whip, shift left, place right, push and adjust, turn, separate. Eyes follow the left hand, but we didn't forget the right. So you may have felt some things with your legs just now. You may have thought, oh, that was too big of a step. Everything is small. And I think that's hard for us to get used to because we live in a world where everything is big. And it's better if it's bigger. So it's harder to pull ourselves in and really keep it small. And when we adjusted that weight to that front foot, we have weight on this back foot. Our weight is evened out. We're in this stable, staggered stance. So when we adjusted weight, we didn't give all the weight forward. We didn't bend into that front foot. We kept ourselves upright and gave weight to that front foot. So again, principles, body structure, upright posture. Again, open and close. Single whip. Shift. Place. Adjust. Turn and separate. All right, let's add it to commence, open and close, and then single whip. So these are our first 3 moves of our basic 6. Here we go. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. How was that?
Pretty good.
It may feel a little awkward, and that's okay. Do it again. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. All right, excuse me for a second. Y'all practice that by yourselves. Give me just a second. All right. Sorry to ditch y'all like that. I drank a whole big glass of water before I started class, and it was going right through me. I couldn't wait any longer. But I love to come in and see y'all practicing. That was awesome. Remember, it's a no judgment zone. So I wasn't judging anything you were doing. I just saw people practicing that single whip. And I think that's great. Okay. Our bathroom is downstairs. So I ran downstairs and ran back up. So now I'm out of breath. Give me a second. All right. Let's do it again together. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. So remember I told you we do it both ways, right? So we just did single whip where we did shift left, step right, push, turn, and separate. Well, we also do it the other way, but we don't do it right after. There's something else in between. That's waving hands and clouds. We are not doing that today. But in this next week, if you want to practice the other single whip, you can. And it's exactly the same as what we just learned, except opposite feet and hands. So for the opposite way, we have shift right, step left, adjust and push, turn, separate, eyes follow the right hand. So you see it's the exact same movement, it's just the other way. So we single whip both ways. In between those single whip is waving hands and clouds. And that's a beast of its own, and it may take us 2 or 3 weeks to really get a handle on waving hands and clouds. But once we get a handle of waving hands and clouds, we do the single whip to the other side, we wave hands and clouds to the other side, we come and we do open and close, and then that's our basic 6. So for us to only be in week 4 and looking at knowing our basic 6 already, that's big. So are we perfect at it yet? No. My intention is to kind of throw it all at you, and then we'll practice and learn all and get better and better and more familiar with it. So don't stress. We'll get there through practice. So let's practice what we know right now, which is commence, open and close, single whip, and commence. Open, close, single whip, let's come back to center and let's open and close and single whip the other way. So open and close, shift right, step left, adjust, turn and separate. All right, so now we're adding on to our Tai Chi repertoire. Let's give ourselves a nice fist massage, telling our legs, thank you for working so hard. We're in control of how high we bring those knees. Usually my pants are in control. Sometimes they don't have any stretch and I can't bring my knee up. Now let's gather tension and release it. We don't want to live with tension, but we want to learn how to recognize when we're holding on to it so that we can let it go. Tense and release. We want body awareness and then fix it. Shoulder circle. Notice I did an adjustment of my feet. My feet were a little bit too far apart for me feeling stable. And so it's not that we do something that's wrong, but we recognize it and fix it. That's the key. We make a loose fist with our right hand. That represents our strength. Our left fingers are all together. That represents our friendship. And our thumb in our humility. So strength, friendship, and humility. We put those together, and in mutual respect, we say namaste. So look at us, week 4, knowing our warm-ups, knowing our first 3 moves, and even practicing it that opposite way. So remember that the recording of class is on YouTube, and also on YouTube are what I call tutorials. Under playlist is a list called Tai Chi, and under that list is a video for each of our warm-up moves. There's a whole video on neck warm-up stretches. There's a video about each one of those. And then there are videos for them together. There are videos of me talking and just doing. There are videos of me facing you doing mirror image. And then all the movement. So under playlist of Tai Chi are all of those videos. Let me know if you need help finding those. I can guide you through it. I've showed you on class, but I can guide you through it one-on-one if you need me to. Yes, ma'am.
Did you receive my waiver form?
I did. You won the technology award because you scanned it in. Like, it never occurs to me that y'all would be able to do that. And not to give y'all any, or not to forget to give y'all respect. That's not how my brain works. I don't work in technology thinking. So I need to start saying, hey, if any of y'all are able to, even take a picture and email it to me or scan it and email it to me, you can. But I forget. I live in the land of snail mail still in 2025. But thank you.
I just want to be sure you got it.
I did. And I went on and sent your prize out. Don't ask me when, because I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, y'all. Y'all have anything for me? All right. Well, I'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
All right. Love y'all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.